Hello, everyone, and welcome to another podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing, and I cannot remember. Well, do you remember our topic? I got a special guest with me today. We've been talking for some years now, and I've been trying to get him on here, and he finally said, "You know what, man? Let's do this." Because, he listens to my podcast. We pretty much say the same stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to get you younger people to get it together. Us as older people, we try to give y'all good information, what to go with, and stop thinking, or not stop thinking, stop doing the same thing and trying to get different results. That's the key. Stop doing the same thing and thinking you're going to get different results. And what's our topic, Brian?
Jealousy and hate. The rise and self-destruction of blackness.
That's right. And that's what we're going to talk about today, amongst other things. But let me introduce my main man the correct way. This is Mr. Walter LeGrand. We've been friends for some years now. And I'm telling you, we've been down, we've been up, we've been down. You know what I'm saying? This is my homie, my stromie. I know y'all hear me talk about North Carolinians a lot, but this is one North Carolinian I got mad love for. You know what I'm saying? It's always one out of 2 trillion, huh? But I asked him to come on today, and I'm gonna let him go ahead and start it off, and we're gonna piggyback off this thing. And hopefully on today, our prayer is that, man, y'all get some good information out of this and get a different perspective and change your mind. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay. Thing is that, I listened to some of the podcasts last week, and my brother was talking about the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. Mm-hmm. And the way the movie went, talking about Fred Hampton. He was a visionary. Mm-hmm. But, visionaries and prophets, when it comes to black people, we suffer a lot because of jealousy, hate, greed, and a bunch of other things that, white people and our own people have a problem with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen the movie, you should check out the movie, because it shows that not only do we have a problem with police brutality, but white people and Latinos have a problem with police brutality also. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True. And the people that want to keep us incarcerated, not have anything, they use our own people against us.
Go ahead, bro. You talking about it now?
Fred Hampton's downfall was led by a black man.
True that. Right.
Now, if you've seen the movie Queen and Slim, their downfall also was a black man who got paid to set them up. Now, in these 2 movies, it didn't end right for the black man. Mm-hmm. And that's how it happens. You always talk about want celebrities to build stuff in the community, build up the community and all this. Well, Nipsey Hussle tried it. Mm-hmm. And you've seen what happened to him.
That's right.
And it shouldn't even be like that.
Nope.
And it's crazy. Why should we be jealous of each other? We need each other to survive.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We don't always have to agree, but we don't have to turn around and kill each other over it. Mm-hmm. Used to be the part where you see somebody with a pair of shoes that you like. Next thing you know, this person gets robbed for his shoes. Why is that? Why can't that person just work for the shoes, buy the shoes themselves? It's also the fact that you turn around and look how many times we've been labeled. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't hear about white on white crime.
Mm-mm.
You don't hear about Asian on Asian crime.
Nope.
You hear black on black crime.
That's right.
When it comes to white people and everybody else, it's just crime. But when it comes to us, against us, it's black on black crime.
You're right, Walt, because I still have beef with, and y'all heard me say this, man. Why are you still saying eligible black people in America that can still vote? That's what I'm not understanding. You don't hear, because I'm pretty sure they're probably saying people that have been incarcerated that can't. But why is it have to, okay, there's white people that can't do it. There's Hispanic people that can't. So why aren't you going through the whole list of how many that have been incarcerated, but you're still saying with the utmost disrespect, eligible black people in America that can still vote? What is that? There's been no movement. And we don't have no movement, and everybody keeps acting like with these little increments, we should be satisfied. Now, the craziest thing that's been killing me is, I just read this today. They said the North Carolina Senate is trying to stop. I'll be forgetting what you call them, but for privilege. The North Carolina Senate is trying to stop for kids to go to school, for black kids. You know how they try to stop. Man. Like I said, it's my goodness, I hate that. How the white people say that's how we get the privilege, how we get to go to college, if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be moving forward. You know what I'm talking about, man.
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action. The North Carolina Senate right now is trying to stop affirmative action. Right now, every Republican Senate in all of these Republican states are straight racist, and we're trying to give excuses of why they're trying to stop everything. They even trying to stop teaching 1619, trying to talk about slavery. They don't want you to, and the worst part about it, and I'm going to be serious, and I hope old boy run up on me, the sorry lieutenant governor of North Carolina is one of the main ones, and he's a black man talking about, oh, there's not racism in America. And his wife is sitting there shaking her head like, no, it's not. That's because y'all are good. But I guarantee you, when you get along, they let you know, good job, boy. Hey, you doing good. And you say, yes, sir. I appreciate you, sir. You've been good to me. And the brother is wild as all outside. So I know they dogging him out. Just like Kamala won't say there's racism in America.
But see, the whole thing is about keeping us labeled and keeping us down. Mm-hmm. As far as, in Georgia, when they talking about, this voter law.
Oh, yeah.
If they can keep us in poverty, keep our communities in poverty, keep our schools in poverty, that's how they get us.
That's their plan.
And then you have some ignorant black folk that want to be on that side.
Oh yeah, it's about that money. Mm-hmm.
And these people don't. They know it, but they don't care.
They don't care.
It's just like you call a white person a racist now, and it just slides off their back because they've been called racist so long. It means nothing no more.
No, it don't sting. It don't mean
anything. It means nothing. Then you got these politicians that talk about they all for the people, they all for us, but they fight like hell to keep anything that we benefit from, keep it away from us.
That's right. You're right. What was it? The stimulus, not the stimulus, the infrastructure package. It was very big. So he did the bipartisan thing, and then it went down. It went from trillion to billions. So what that means half of what needed to be done is not going to be done now, because that's what Republicans do. They save all that money for themselves because we don't get it. Now that the way he had that set up, everybody was going to be good. And they say, we don't support this. We don't like this. They use political talk. When they do political talk, if you don't understand it, next thing you know, they win it. They talk, and if you go into it with a politician, you will start about a good 5 or 10 minutes, and then he will start kicking what they call, I said one time, they'll write down things that they have done. And you will say, okay, yes, that's what you've done. But as I see, things still have not improved. You may have done it, but now let me give you the proof that that's not done. So what you put money into this when the schools, they still dogging teachers out. Education-wise. And hey, that's black, white, everything. Right? If you were a teacher in North Carolina, please. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember Cooper wanted to give, $250 during the pandemic for the teachers? And my wife was like, that's all? The money, because remember, down here, they just said, we've been taxing y'all so good, we're going to cut back just a little bit. Because we've been taxing you for years. And we don't even need no taxes right now. Or ever, really. So now, and then that's a little bit, I don't have the exact numbers, but, now we're going to cut back. I mean, because I think North Carolina might be the only place that you have to pay taxes to have a car.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
You got to pay taxes on top of taxes.
On top of that, and they're going to add your bike soon, because I remember they started, I keep an eye on them. It's slowly going down the road. They're going to do it soon. Just like with recreational marijuana, they haven't seen the money they want to see yet. So when they see that money, I bet you they pass it. Daddy already said, medical marijuana, that's approved. Yeah. Everybody can do that now. But everybody's like, well, why y'all being, suckers? Everybody from Virginia up now can smoke weed. But you the only one still acting like, oh, no, that's wrong. I mean, come on, man. They are just, and like they said, when they do that, they need to let a lot of people out that have got large sentences for a little bit of marijuana all over this country from the Clinton administration.
Yeah. Now, when you was talking about politics for a second. Mm-hmm. Now, we got Republicans, we have Democrats. Mm-hmm. Both parties are crooked to me.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is that you have people voting for Republican, even though the Republicans don't want the minimum wage to raise.
Yes.
They don't want us to have health care. Mm-hmm. They don't want us to have anything.
Nothing.
They fight hard. Mm-hmm. So we don't have nothing. So we can continue to struggle.
That's right.
Just like when they started this, had this stimulus package.
Oh, Lord.
But the Republicans didn't want us to get that.
Boy, that took forever. I know people went through.
Yeah, they was talking about that if they give us the stimulus money, that people won't go back to work. How long do you think $2,000 would last?
Talk to me now.
If you got a job and you paying your rent and stuff, you no longer working because of the pandemic, that money's going on bills. Mm-hmm. You don't even have enough to really get any food in your house.
That's right.
So that's the thing, man. They always talk about the Republican Party is the party of the people. It was the party of the people about 500 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's no longer the party of the people.
Nope, not at all.
And, and that's one of the problems that we have. We fight against each other because these people put in play for us to fight against each other.
That's right. Because
they show some of us with something that this person might want or this person might need, and next thing you know, we're war. Mm-hmm. And why the powers that be can sit back and laugh and get a big old laugh on because we're looking like fools.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right.
And so that, that's why we got this jealousy and this hate thing going on. You can also add greed in there also. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've seen the movie Get Out, you know that these white people wanted the gifts that we had. The blind white guy wanted the black man's eyes because he liked the way the black man, see things. He wanted that. And so that's what they jealous of us. But they turn around and say our women isn't beautiful. They saying that our athletes can't think. But if our women aren't beautiful, why in the world they trying to get their lips like our women, their skin color like our women? They trying to be like us.
That's right.
But the problem is we don't realize how that our gifts from God is so great. That we accept what they tell us and what they do to us. Time out for that. We need to just quit thinking about that. Let that go and start thinking about other things.
That's right.
And realize that we are the true gifts, true gifts from God.
That's right. That's right. Because now I know you may have heard the movement. They said that we are the original Hebrew Israelites. Now I know there's a lot of conversation about that and stuff like that, and y'all may hear me talk my stuff about, there's inconsistencies with the Bible and stuff like that and things of that nature. And like I said, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, I have no other options. That's what it's going to be to the day I die. But I will always, talk about inconsistencies. Now, when we talk about the Hebrew Israelites, they say that we are the original Jews because where the slaves came from, by the Bible, that's where our ancestors came from. Where Jesus told them to go to part of Africa, where he told them to go, that's where because I did my, ancestry. I did all that, and I'm, I don't know, I think I said it already, but I'm Nigerian, Sierra Leone, and Kenya. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wait a minute, man, that's crazy. And that was my mother. My mother had the same. Now, I had some Meso-American, and I said, that's probably my dad. She must have overrode him, but I never met him, so. But it seems like there is some proof in that because we are some bad peoples. But they like my man Walt saying, they hoard the gift and then they get rid of us when they're done with us. When, the situation like Walt was saying, when LeBron is a very educated man. And what that woman say, shut up and play basketball in front of the world. Shut up and dribble. What? And I think she still has a job. No way. And we just act like I pay attention. I pay close attention to the smallest detail. I don't let anything go by because I just want somebody to say something crazy so I can dig in that tail. I'm in my man's house, so I'm gonna be respectable. But it's something, and I'm getting ready to move on because we were talking about this before with our jobs. I was going to play a Dr. Umar Wichicom, and he said that we are $2 trillion people. All together, we bring in $2 trillion. That's from what they tax us. I don't know what comes out in taxes or whatever the case may be. It might be a little bit less, maybe $1 trillion. But with all that money, what we could do, you know what I'm saying? Because you can check this out. When Clinton threatened Minister Farrakhan because Minister Farrakhan was trying to tell the black people we need to leave America. And Bill Clinton threatened him. Y'all can check this out. Bill Clinton threatened him and said, if you keep saying that, I'm going to put you in jail because we are just money to them. That's it. Now, when we talk about jobs, I beef on my job because my employer said one time, and I guess he thinks that, I'm not waiting for the opportunity to rip him a new one. We pay you what we think you deserve. He said it a couple times. And nobody said anything because guess what? Oh, this is my job. I better not kick against the pricks. What? There's too many jobs now. Say it again. I want you to say it again. It makes no sense how they keep us in slavery still. Still. And then we just be like, you know what? I'm gonna talk my junk. You know what? I'm past talking junk. I want to change something. Something needs to change. I don't want to keep marching down the street. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about something needs to change. How long has Maxine Waters been sitting in there?
It's been there for a while.
And nothing gets done. John Lewis said what? Get in good trouble. Guess what? He just got a ship in his name. They getting ready to name ships after black, witchcrafts. And they gonna put them in the water and swim away.
One thing is that we turn around, we on these jobs, and we know we ain't treated right, but we go ahead and talk to our co-workers and stuff, and next thing you know, nothing's done, nothing's said. But what if we turned around and we really seriously started talking to our co-workers? Our co-workers seriously talk back to us, and we decide we're not going to put up with this no more, and we walk off.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody walk off from the job that they're working on, that they're not happy with, something can be accomplished.
I believe that.
Because that's in unity. How you think we got out of slavery? How you think we got, the civil rights movement got kicked off? It was unity. We had a common goal. Nowadays, that's the problem. There's too much selfishness that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Too much, like I said, too much jealousy, too much hate, too much greed. And the powers that be knows this. It's like on Django when Leonardo DiCaprio was talking about how had the skull and was talking about why didn't the black people rise up?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we rise up? Ain't nothing gonna be done until we do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
With unity, we can get better health care, we can get better schools, we can get better pay, we can get all things accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta have a common goal. A common goal is I want better for my grandkids now.
That's right.
As well as better for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not gonna get it by just talking on Facebook, by just talking to our co-workers who don't plan on doing nothing anyway. And see, that's one of the issues too. We talking to our co-workers, he can turn around, he has a problem with us, go talk to the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Back then they were called house niggas.
Yep, that's right. I don't know what they call now. I think snitch.
Yeah,
snitches.
Like Malcolm, like Denzel Washington said in Malcolm X. Old house nigga be sitting in there when the master's sick.
Mm-hmm.
We sick, boss.
Mm-hmm.
We sick. When he eat, we eat.
Mm-hmm.
We eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a man. I'm not gonna turn around and tell that oppressor let we sick.
That's right.
So, we talk about unity. We need to talk about unity. We need to start organizing and get this thing together.
For real.
Because ain't nothing going to be done if we just sitting back and just keep talking.
That's right. The killer for me, with everything that happened this year, with the George Floyd and everything, did the same thing. Got the megaphone, went down the street and started yelling. That was it. Burned some stuff up, act a little crazy. Same thing that's been happening all these years. That's not going to change anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. It can't be, and y'all heard me say this before, we can't still be saying Martin Luther King in 2021 going into 2022. Now, that's a good foundation, don't get me wrong. But you cannot tell me that that's still the plan. Because if that's still the plan, we're going to get the same results. Nothing. Now, when my man Walt was talking about when I was talking on the podcast before, I said, what? You get 10 good brothers. And they might be brothers and sisters working in a home, in a neighborhood. Everybody eats. Everybody drives. Everybody, because we getting in together. See, like my man Walt was saying, and I always say this, we have been taught to fight each other.
Yep.
We've been taught to fight each other. We've been taught to hate on each other. And you know how many people accept it? Everybody can't go. That's the worst part. When you do it, I think it was one of the guys from Muhammad across overseas. He said everybody can't come to the meeting because you're too many friends with too many people. And when we try to plan and do what we need to do, you're going to go tell them, and then they're going to know, and then we're going to be stopped. Yeah. I got into it with a homie of mine about that. He said, Kirk, if we just unify. I said, bro, everybody can't go. And hey, please accept my offense. I said, what about that sister that keeps the rollers in her hair and she's nasty? She can't go. And he said, man, I said, because that's going to slow your progress down. Because there's going to be a bunch of trouble. They're going to have to change. When I talked about everybody putting our money together and being good and being able to live better like our bosses live, because if you're talking about $30,000 or maybe $24,000 with 10 people, and you got the right person doing the finances, a friend of mine told me years ago, and I didn't get in with him because I wasn't at the job long, but he said, Mr. Kirk, I was working at the school system. He said, Mr. Kirk, I have a person that tells me how much I can do with this, how much I can do with that, and showed me proof. And that brother's good to go now. And this was back in the early 2000s. No problems. Doing lovely. But he said that, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're talking about when we tell you, get into unity. It's not about loving on everybody else. We want our families better. Caucasian people's families are good, except for the poor ones. Now, I'm going to be honest. The poor ones are black people, if you want to be honest. They treat poor Caucasian people like black people.
Yep.
They beat on them. They smack them. I was looking in a video one time, they were trying to lock the guy's mother up. The cop just hit the woman in the face. I said, what the heck is this? Because she was poor. We are, but like the problem is a lot of times they, like Walt said, they go with the money. When we got into this Trump era, a bunch of the black people went with the money. The Latinos went with the money. That's why they say we want to go with Trump. Because remember, man, they didn't pay taxes. Rich people don't pay taxes. Yeah. The poor people. So during the Trump era, they were riding off my back. And everybody else has been working. Because he was hitting taxes on us, but he don't tax them. So remember, when Biden was doing the infrastructure plan, he said the rich going to pay for it. Republicans came right in and said, no, let's take it down and don't mess with them. We love them. We want to do things because in North Carolina, when something happens, the first thing they want to do, let's cut taxes for the rich. That's the first thing come out their mouth. Yeah. Every single time. And I know we always get into it. Me and Walt have always had this. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote, or I'm not going to do this. Guess what? If we doing good, what do I need to vote for? Oh, they're going to do what they want to do. They already do that. Remember what I said? I can promise my man Walt all day long, Walt, we gonna ride, baby. We gonna do what it's gonna do, man. I know how to do this. But when I raise my right hand, I gotta do the law now. That's why we lose. The law don't help the poor, the black people, or anything. That's not what the law is for. Now, if we get into church, what they say, there's a big struggle. A pastor has to teach the law in church, don't they? Because it's so confusing. Because we talking about the law, we talking about the law of the Jews back in biblical times. And they're saying, okay, we still need you to live by that now. No, that's just not right. That don't make sense. Even the Jews now don't do that. But you're telling me that's their heritage. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones against the wall with the long sideburns going back and forth doing the rabbi. You know what I'm saying? I call it doing the rabbi. And they got all the money. So that's why I don't really deal with the Hebrew Israelite thing, because they're not going to get that money back if we are the original Hebrew Israelites. So, and please, I know I teach, and I'm going to do it till I die. How is it that if black people, this Bible is about us, how are the white people able to use it to keep us enslaved mentally, but it's about us? When I talked about, I told you I was in church from 1980 to 2014. In my time down here in North Carolina, every pastor used me for their good. Why? Because I said, this is what God wants me to do to make him happy. This is me pleasing God. Sometimes I didn't go home. Sometimes I was getting out of church at 1 or 2, and I had to get up at 3 something to be to work to open up. Because I said, this is what God wants. But once I found out that I didn't do that, I was no more good anymore. Somebody else had to move in that position. You're not faithful enough. I have to take care of my family. Well, we understand that, but and that's when we talk about the position of the church when it comes to us in our personal lives. God first, then our church. No, God first, then our wives, then our children. The church is in last place, and they will not teach that. They'll say it, but that's not what they show. The church has played a very big part in our brainwash, y'all, believe it or not. If you Google right now on your phone, the church saying something about the government, they won't do it. Google won't even show it because it's such set in position, because that's why what they say, we don't tell you how to vote, but they have a politician at your church to speak to you. It's got to add up, y'all. It's got to add up. That's why when we talk, it's not going to be, if we get down to, it's not going to be, Pastor, you're not going to lead this. Pastor, it's not going to be no prayer. Pastor, it's not going to be this. We're going to need to sit down and plan. If you want to come, please come to the meeting. But it's not going to be all of this. You're going to be quoting all these scriptures. No, we're going to deal with reality. See, church is faith. We right now are dealing with reality. I can pray and ask God all day long, but if I don't physically move, nothing's going to happen. I said that to somebody and they didn't understand when I said it. They said, you can't say that. I said, well, tell me right now, if I quit my job, what's going to happen?
You're going to be homeless.
I'm going to be homeless. But I'm saying God's going to take care of me. Not if I don't work. I have to physically do something to change my situation. But in church, we're just told we got to keep hoping and praying. God is going to do it. And leaders have been lying to us like that for years. I know we said we're going to do this, but if we just keep believing God, 20 years later, we still believe in God.
But see, and that's why it says in the Bible, faith without works is dead.
But that's what we get messed up. They act like they ain't supposed to do nothing.
Yeah. But see, the whole thing is, it's about our own relationship with God.
It's supposed to be.
It's like when you talk about tithes, they say 10%. It's not, it's you're thinking that it's all about money. But that 10% could be doing something for the church, cutting the grass, doing it. But that's not taught. It used to be the church was a major part of the community.
Used to be.
Major part of our lives. But just like everything else, things have changed. People don't even dress up to go to church no more.
Since we started inclusion.
Yeah, people don't dress up, period. You look at the athletes nowadays. Look at the millionaires nowadays. Tattoos everywhere. Their hair all bundled up, look like they're homeless. And that's what the church looks like too in some cases. But there are some good churches out there. There are some good pastors out there. But it's like going in the forest. You can't see the good for all the trees.
All the trees.
You can't see the good pastors and the good churches for all the fake ones out there.
Because they the ones to get their attention.
That's right.
Yep.
And they, the church is supposed to be the bank. It's supposed to be the school. It's supposed to be the hospital. Whatever you need, the church is supposed to be able to give it to you.
It's supposed to be.
But it's not like that. It might have been back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
But it's not. Because one thing, people don't respect the church no more. The dude in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
He turns around. He gets prayed for. He gets treated nice.
Dylan Ruth.
Yep. And what he do? He killed the people in the church. They didn't mean him no harm. They wanted to help him.
Yep.
People stealing aluminum off of the air conditioning. Even pastors.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, you got good, you got bad.
Yeah.
But the bad is overshadowing the good. When you think of the Catholic Church, I think of, pedophiles, child molesters. But there are some good priests out there. But you don't hear about them. They don't say nothing. They're silent. They just like the cops, the good cops. The bad is overshadowing the good. That's what we deal with now.
You're right. That's why I said when I started studying the history of the church, and this was before I came to North Carolina. That's when my eyes were open to a lot of stuff. And y'all heard me say some years ago, I used to say, you're more Catholic than you know. If you see, a lot of pastors wear the same garments of the Pope. It's more of a connection than we really know. But once you begin to study, you'll find out, you know what I'm saying, how, things were twisted, how, stuff is missing. But like I said, you can have it missing all day long. I'm going to have to believe. I have no other choice. But we about to run out here. But, before we sign off, is what me and Walt, always say, it's always good. And Dr. Umar was right. He said, there's nothing wrong with religion. He said a lot of times it's, I guess you could say how that money, because it comes to money. Because like Walt said, it can be used to, cut the grass. It can be used to feed people, pay people's electric bills. But something gets messed up, Walt, when you hear a pastor say, pay your 10%, but then pay over if you want God to bless you. If you want a house, give a house. If you want a car, give a car.
How long we got?
We got 7 minutes.
Let me say this real quick. Okay, the thing is that you got, like I was talking about, the good and the bad. The thing is that a lot of people don't think about the fact that if the Bible is causing you to be a good person, if church is calling you to be a good person, a better person, then you go with that. You stay with that. If that church is because it's about like my brother said, it's about faith. It's a personal walk with God. If that's making you a better person, I have no problem with it. But nowadays
it's getting perverted.
Yeah, it's getting perverted.
Yep. You got to get around people that really believe, man. That's your thing.
Yeah.
Not the leadership. Because a lot of times leadership, man, and I've been in leadership meetings. A lot of times they tell you how to budget. It's not faith. The leadership meetings don't deal with faith. They deal with the business at hand.
Yeah, some of them meetings, they be about to fight.
Ooh, boy, you talking about it now. That's true. They be ready to get it in. Because, things sometimes, a lot of times get out of hand. The pastor either didn't handle things or this ain't do. Hey, like you said, man, it's when I bring things up, it's always for you to research. Now, my biggest thing is the bishop. I always talk about, how the bishop is over the church. Believe it or not, the bishop is. Because the bishop is an office. See, it's so perverted now that people thinking that the bishop is supposed to be coming and preaching. He's not. The bishop is supposed to be the man that covers you financially. The bishop, that's why he has churches. The bishop is not supposed to be going places and teaching. That is not a calling. That's why Paul said it is a office. That's it. That's why when we say perverted, it's perverted. The apostle, which was left when Jesus went to heaven, the pastor, the teacher, the preacher, I think that's three, something like that. But the bishop was not left. Do you understand? That's when we talk about perverted. If that's out of order like that, and the thing that messes you up when the pastor tells you God doesn't care how you feel, they good for that. And if I'm talking about the black church, then hey, I was there. God does care how you feel. If you want your situation to change, you're going to have to pray and ask God to give you guidance. You have to. I think in every situation I did, I have to. Regardless, I got to, man. I got to. If I want something to change, I'm like, God, please. When I left the church, I said, God, show me who you really are. And what he showed me was, this was wrong that you were taught. That was wrong. And this is who I really am. You know what I'm saying? Now, I told y'all before, we're going to get some scriptures and we're going to break down what say on the surface, but what God really meant. You know what I'm saying? Because I was there. If the pastor said it, that was the law. That's not right. We're supposed to study. We're supposed to find out who he really is for us. Not everybody on a whole, but for who he is for us individually. Because we're individuals. We funny acting sometimes. We get an attitude. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't do that. We are not the same. So God, I'm pretty sure, deals with us differently. So we want to thank y'all for joining us on today with my main man Walt here. Oh yeah. If you might be saying, it seems like they not agreeing. We agreeing. We do this. This is how we do. You know what I'm saying? This is how we do. This is how you get to where you need to be. Not just sitting there all the time talking about, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. No, that's not how it's done. That's when Walt said, if we don't agree or we don't but guess what? My man need me, I'm going to be there. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. It's unity.
It's unity, baby. It's unity. We got to get it together. So everybody, we want to thank y'all for joining us on today for my main man, Walter LeGrand's first podcast, hopefully, and many more to come so we can teach these younger people. See, like I said, and I'm not the only one, I do not want to be that same old 50-year-old telling you the same stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep telling you to do the same thing, and it's not working. I'm going to give you the real. So my parting words is keep believing, you know what I'm saying? And like I always say, I'll let you got some parting words, Walt.
I just appreciate the opportunity. Y'all have a good one.
And remember, don't keep doing the same thing and trying to get different results. I mean, doing the same thing, and trying to get, I'll be messing up. God bless y'all. Have a good week.